Guys, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. I'm very fine and I hope you're fine too. So we are here in another bunker today. I'm doing the second reaction towards the MARWA situation. So of course, if you know, you know. If you don't know, then forget about it. So guys, we have just finished unloading or offloading the luggage from America, and of course people are very happy. I'm happy for them. But we just have to point out one thing or two here and there. Of course, one thing that is coming out at the end of the day 3 video, because Maro himself of course told us he has to be firm, and he was showing how he was sending away Mogasa, Mayana, and the father to Gintu and the rest. Yeah, so guys, how do you feel about this? Because now this man was looking so embarrassed. You know, he has come with a friend and they are told, no, he has to be firm. Of course, everyone doesn't like an enemy, you know. Marwa came out clearly and he was saying, there is no way he's going to stand people abusing him. And of course, you heard that clearly from Cecil Mann, the uncle from Jamaica. Was it called Tranch? Is Tranch TV the guy? Yeah, so he had, of course, directed Marwa towards that. And of course, Marwa said that Jesus Christ was persecuted. And no matter what good you do, people will just talk about it negative and trash it down. So, of course, he followed his spirit, and we don't blame him because most people would do the same, actually. Now, the only thing we are feeling now is, why did the father to Gintu, Mogasa, and Mayana and the rest do? Didn't the kids talk to him and tell him exactly what not to do? Because actually, if my father knows that I'm sour with somebody, they wouldn't walk easily to a situation. Yeah, so we understand. Maybe he needed the clothes, but I wonder why the sons are not doing it, because Gintu has really grown. His channel is grown, and we don't expect that his father would actually stoop that low and walk into Marwa's family. If he knows very well it is sour, this is an African setting. African settings, we create family enemies, by the way. So I'll tell you clearly that once an enemy of one person in the family, it's hard enough to have them being friends to anybody else. So come on, guys. So why did this guy have to get the guts to move into this family? That's the question I'm asking, and I can't get the answers. So I'll be just showing a video shortly, because you may have missed out at this point, but let me just stress it and show it to you.
Sikubali. I'm telling him his kids abuse me every day. I don't want any of his story, and I say it on camera. I'm not afraid. Wewe kwako sisi kubaliana tata na angeli. Mimi ndio mwenye boma nimekataa.
Alright, so back to the video, we actually see that at the beginning, you know, I was looking at the day 2 yesterday and I saw something that I'll be talking about it. But just before that, of course, we thank God. Marwa provided a lot of food for these people, though he was saying he had only one goat. I know that's a sacrifice most of us can't give, and of course, when he does it, we have to appraise it. It's actually something that not everybody can do. And out of that, then we have just to pinpoint at some areas that were actually not standing out. Now, one thing that I learned from this video is that when I receive charity things, I think even though we might need that clarity, maybe if we are recording, then yeah, it's right that people know that we are recording whatever they are doing. But I see, it seemed many people were afraid of being recorded, and that's why they couldn't actually step at this place. Yeah, so I don't believe that those who appeared in this video are the only ones who lacked resources or whatever they required. I saw a lot of other people who missed out. If you look at Nyabohansa itself, it has a large population, and guys, why is it that so many people missed? Yeah, you can actually understand that people don't like filming. In an African situation, when you are giving, like helping, and you film, people feel like they are being desperate, In fact, I've seen one reactor indicating that were it not for filming, then Percy would have occurred in this place. All I know is that, of course, you couldn't come. You remember the bunker between Marwa and Percy after Cecil visited? So I don't actually believe that she would have shown up, most times guilt then sends people away and they wouldn't actually show up in such a scene, especially when you talk about Caro talked about the Mitumba market. And I told you I don't have a problem with that. Most people in Africa, however rich they are, they put on the Mitumba, of course, because they believe these clothes last long and the shoes last long and what have you. Now let's just get to something Marwa was kept saying. He kept saying that the clothes were new, and of course he was even looking for labels. Now there's just one question I would ask reactors. Now why was he actually mentioning the prices? Because did he want to show that Cecil brought new things? Maybe it's out of the insult that people had earlier on shown that it will be old stuff. Anyway, that aside, Caro insisted that anything already used is mitumba. So let's get to here and see. So finally, on the third day, we kept asking why Marwa is actually videoing and limiting people to take 2 or 3. And you actually realize the third day, again, the same people who had been there, some came. Like these kids who are here, they had been there earlier. Now, being the third day, Marwa decided that he has actually to now throw away everything. So now, we don't have questions anymore. What we have to do is just to follow and get any small track and dig it out and talk about it. Now here we are, and of course Marwa is encouraging kids to pick the smallest they want. Yeah, just listen to this. So actually, guys, you heard that even some of the kids who had been there previously still got in. Now, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say those who had been there before again came back. Does it mean that by being given 1 or 2, and now this third day they are being told to pick all they want? Is it that they felt that they need to pick more because they were not satisfied? That's my question, and I think that is the banker here. Yeah, it seems that people are not satisfied with 1 or 2. Remember the previous videos on day 2 and 1, they were actually picking, then the filming is done and they are told, don't pick more. Now kids are revealing that others are already inside. So are you seeing this? And now you've heard the pata potea. So actually when you hear that statement, it's commonly done in Kenya when you go to Gikomba market and any other market in Kenya where you are selling clothes. Now you remember Cecil had asked Marwa whether the license is provided and he had said he is not selling. But the statement here actually can be, turning against the culture. Now, anyway, many people have criticized this statement, and whatever they are referring to, they are taking back to further to Gintu, who was chased away. Now, some are even exaggerating and saying he went through the wall. I don't know how true is this, but from what I can see in this video, there's nothing of that sort. So let's get going and see what we'll gather from the previous video. I want you to consider the funny part of the thumbnail here. It was so exciting for me and I felt I shouldn't actually leave it out as I'm doing this video, the second video on this family.
Please subscribe to the channel.
This is the part that I'm actually interested in. Why did Marwa have to do this? No wonder I saw the Muzungu,
and then they'll be behind the scenes.
vlog.
So guys,
Actually sharing the boxing, and boxes were right there. The dramatic aspect of the unboxing. Because yeah, you saw how bitter Marwa is. So it's actually a lot of bitterness for Marwa when you look at whatever reaction he gave there. And it's so shaming that the father to Gintu had to be there. Of course, from what Marwa is sharing, he has got much from the kids from abroad. Maybe in one way or another, Marwa helped, though it's normal to be betrayed. Yeah. A lot of us are betrayed even by family members and what have you. So guys, we don't expect that when we help, we are not betrayed. And that's what actually Marwa feels. And when you're betrayed, you feel so bitter, by the way. So I think you've actually seen how the father was crucified. The Bible says that the fathers will bear the burdens of their grandfathers and the kids will bear the burdens of their parents. So that's actually happening in Nyabohanse. So that's the bunker you can see. The one thing we actually understand is that bitterness can never hide itself, however much we pretend or how long we might, fake they're feeling. So let's get here and see. There's something that was actually triggering in the other part, so we'll be talking about it shortly. We come to the end of this bunker. You get what I get, and if you don't get it, forget about it. So you actually saw the entire distribution ending, and we expect something new from today onwards. Yeah, so much has been said anyway. The absence of the sister and all that. Of course, from the third day video, the sister came too late. Many people are saying she's the sheep in the family, and they don't want her. We are yet to prove that, because now we are like, no one mentioned her until later. Then they discovered that they have to talk about the sister who has not picked anything. Then she was called. Then it also seems that he's not excited about coming around. I don't know. Families are families, but there's something maybe hidden under the lamp. We do not know. So as we come to the end of this YouTube discussion, I just urge you to keep subscribing. I really appreciate that today I've reached 2,000 subscribers and I'm moving on. I started long ago, but I was a bit lazy. Yeah, but now I've decided I'll work hard towards ensuring that I react when necessary, I teach when necessary, and I do more to enhance my growth. Bye-bye.